Hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk. I'm James Rink. It is August 3rd, 2018, and today I have Asther with us. And we've actually done an interview in the past few years ago. I can't recall exactly when. It's probably around 2014. And I'm sure you've got a lot of updates to bring now. Asther has a lot of contacts with different extraterrestrial beings, and they have been relaying certain messages to him. And he's going to share that with us. So, Asther, can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. So why don't you just go ahead and maybe just introduce, do like a quick introduction about yourself for the audience members so they can learn a little bit more about you and what you're about to talk about.
You can call it psychic, and a very spiritual man who was grow up in Mexico, and I was very fully aware of my, my inheritance is being here on this planet, and I have a lot of information I never lost that connection with my family, galactic family, and with my um, friends. You can call it angels, archangels, whatever. But I'm part of that team that came to Earth to help to wake up humanity. That is basically who I am.
Thank you for sharing that. So do you happen to have like a website where people can learn more about what you do, a book, a way people can contact you?
I have a Facebook that I post a lot of my experiences on Facebook. So people can reach me on Facebook or reach me on YouTube. I share a lot of my experiences through those avenues, on the, on internet.
Well, I guess more specifically, I was wondering, do you do like psychic readings for people? Are you doing anything like that where people can interact?
Sometimes I do, but it's being done very privately. I don't post those interviews online for people, for the general population. But I do readings. I do psychic. I do screening. I have a lot of friends in UK, Mexico, South America, and I do a lot of those spiritual readings in connections, and but I don't share that on Facebook because
Uh,
I think that is something very private, very special, and I respect my clients, my people that I do that.
let's go ahead and just discuss some of your star traveler experiences, or I guess really being to visit you. I'm assuming you may have also been taken by these entities, but why don't we start with maybe the Draco, because you said you've mentioned that some Draco have visited you. Is that
Yeah, actually, uh, they've been visiting me a couple of times. Uh, um, in National Tennessee, they did it in Buffalo, New York, and they're doing it right now here in Village, Montana. And they come through my apartment. They appear to me, and they're trying to tell me that I have to stop, this, you know, information. They say we will kill you, we will, destroy you, and this and that. You have to give, you know, um, you have to, you know, stop because we're gonna kill you. We're gonna get rid of you. And I said, I'm not afraid of you guys because you know what? I have the support of Sananda, which is Joshua, which is Jesus, and I had the support of Saint Germain, and they told me, don't fear these guys because these guys are going to be gone very soon. And so I tell them that, and they just like pop out, like in thin air, and they haven't bothered me for the last couple of weeks, but they were like really trying to push me to stop talking about it and talking to you especially because they know that you and I we are connected is some way, and they didn't want me to uh, put give you more information because you are doing something very special for humanity, and they don't like it. They don't like it. So and so I said no, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep doing what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so what color were these Draco?
Oh, they were green with red, eyes. I mean, like orange color, and slash in their eyes. And they were like 12 feet tall. They were huge, and they were intimate. They said, "We can kill you this moment," and I said, "I'm not afraid of you, treating me like that because I have the support of these people of light, and so they just went away, and they haven't bothered me since last 2 weeks.
Okay, and did they have wings?
One of them had a wing, and you know what? The one who really present to me in the middle of the night, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. He was white, like pale white, and he was so tall. He was like 14 feet tall. He went through the ceiling of my apartment, and he like bat wings, like the bat wings. He was so huge, and he was like, with his eyes, red eyes and slashes in his eyes. He's like, you better stay away from our project because you are intruder. You are trying to uh, destroy our project that we have been working for so long, for so thousands of years. And I said, you know what? I came here because that's my mission. And I want to assist humanity, and you cannot do anything to me. So, and I said, Joshua, Jesus, Archangel Michael, and Saint Germain, they are with me. So you better stay away. And you know what? When they heard the name of Jesus, the name of Saint Germain, the name of Michael, they disappeared in the blinking of the night.
And what project were they referring to?
Well, they're talking about take over our planets. They think that they are the owners of the planet. They think that they own humanity, and they want to, make humanity slaves for them. And but that's not happening. That's not happening because the Big Bang. is coming up, and they don't like. I mean, they just don't like it. They don't like to see that this mess. They are going to be out of the picture very soon, and they don't like it because you and I, we are warriors, protecting our planets, protecting Gaia, Sophia, and humanity, and they don't like it.
Did they say anything else before they departed?
Well, they said, if I keep, working against them, they will, find a way to eliminate.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry. They say they will, do something to find a way to eliminate, because I'm a problem for them.
And what about some recent death in your family? Was this all around the same time?
Yeah. My brother, who died 2 weeks ago, he appeared to me the other night. He was like 9 feet tall in his, body, his original body from the Pleiadians. And he told me, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. These people that trying to control Earth and humanity, they don't have no more chances. They know they're going to be gone forever, and they're trying to do anything that they can to humiliate you, to make you feel afraid and things like that, and you don't pay attention to what they have to say, because you we got it, we made it, and they are gonna be gone forever. So that's why they're so afraid. Even the elite, the people who are the grand childrens from the Dracos, who are ruling UK, US, and all the world. They're gonna be like fact. I mean, there's no more for them to have hope that they want to control our planet any longer, and they know that this event of the gamma rays, what is coming from the center of the galaxy. They know that ray is going to destroy them. It's going to consume them, because gamma rays are going to transmute the negative, nasty energy that these people have carried for so long. And we, as humans, we are going to be, benefit for this energy that's coming up. It's going to heal us. It's going to, like bring all our memories back. It's going to make us, be perfect, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And they don't like that.
Well, would it make them more spiritual? Maybe it would benefit them. Maybe not in the way that they view as a benefit. Or would it destroy them?
It's just going to, because they carry so much negative energy, they are going to suffer this energy, because it's going to be like getting a shot of fire that's going to burn them. it will feel like burning inside out. And for us, it's going to feel soothing, beautiful, embracing and everything. So that's a big difference.
Okay. Do you have any information on when this big event will happen?
Between 2 years and 3 years.
So that would be what, 2020 to 2021?
More or less.
Mm-hmm.
Between now and more likely it will be between now and 2023.
And do you have any information what this big event, what leads up to it? That signs, perhaps?
Okay, let me tell you this. The sun, our sun, is going to when this gamma ray reaches the center of our sun is going to expand. Okay, it's going to expand, and it is going to be how you call it? Nova star burst.
A supernova?
Yeah. So our sun is going to expand and is going to embrace us and embrace the entire solar system. And that energy is going to transform every single cell, molecule, DNA that is living at this moment in time. And people who are resigning into the negative energies, they're going to hurt. It's going to be painful for them. It's going to be painful, and they're not going to like it. But for us, it's going to be very soothing, very nice, very, sweet.
Mm-hmm. When will the ETs show themselves during this period in a public way that can't be
in the middle of this event?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of this event.
Do you think the governments will try to pretend like, oh, it's maybe a hologram, or maybe people are seeing things?
Not with Trump. Trump is going to disclose everything because he's part of this project.
Mm.
Trump is part of this, this totally event that is going to happen.
Okay, and
remember what Peter said to you, that Trump is part of this whole project.
Yeah, well, he says Trump's going to release all these suppressed technologies in his second term.
Exactly.
And I believe he said the 5D ascension comes around 2022.
Right, exactly. And that is happening, and it's going to happen. And, and Trump is part of the whole team, our team. He's part of us. And that's why a lot of people that, that don't have open-minded and that they are so embedded into the old, paradigm, they don't understand, why Trump became president, and they attack him left and right. But Trump is the key person that in this era that he's going to make that happen. Period.
All right. And do you have any other information about other activity? What else may occur within this big event?
Yeah.
Will for instance, the power grid go down? Will it be a war? Anything like that? Financial unrest?
Well, according to the information that I got, is when this event happened, obviously it's gonna be chaos. for people who don't understand the situation, the whole thing. But in the meantime, our friends from far away, our galactic family, they showed up at that precise moment. And they are going to take care of these people who lose their mind and they won't know what to do. So that's when our friends from Pleiades, Andromeda, Sirius, uh, they will come and shut up. They shut up.
What about the 12D plates? These are the ones that have been trying to conquer planet Earth. Will we see other invaders showing up saying, here we are, we're benevolent, when we're actually not?
Oh, no. They're not going to be allowed to come here because after the birth of this energy, nobody who is not residing in that vibration they're not going to make it because you know what? Automatically, it's going to be a wall of energy that negativity is not going to cross down here any longer. And that's why, the Dracos are going to have pain and suffering, but if they're still here, they are going to suffer. They are going to suffer that energy, but no more people, no more negativity are going to be allowed through this, part of the galaxy in our planet.
All right. And do you have any other information to share about this big event or the Draco interactions that you had? Anything else?
I think I pretty much covered everything.
All right. So was there anything else you want to mention about your brother? Maybe about some of the communications you had with him?
Oh, yeah. Actually, my brother appeared to me after 2 weeks that he passed away. He came in a very 9 feet tall body. He appeared right in my bed, and he says, "I just want to let you know that everything you're doing is perfect. It's fine. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to be sad about it anymore." And he's like, I'm your guy. I'm being with you. I agree to be here with you all this time, this lifetime. And he says that he told me about this event that's happening. He's aware of that, and then he told me about you know a little bit about you. He knows you, and and I said, what do you know about James? And he's like, James is being a victim of the system and this time in his life, and but he's doing good. He is doing what he's supposed to do, and he will be okay. He said he will be okay, and just keep sharing information to him, and everything is going to be fine with him. Nobody's going to hurt him or anything, do anything against him, because he's very powerful. He has a lot of good energy that is going to, protect him. And, you know, he doesn't need to worry about anything.
And did he say that the Draco were responsible for his death? Was it an attack?
He mentioned that Semiasi got rid of him. But Semiasi, uh, she didn't like his, the way he was thinking or doing things, and he says that because he's from the Pleiades, my brother, and you and I, we are from the Pleiades too. I mean, before we came to Earth, and he said that Semiasi was very jealous because Miguel, my brother, was um, very direct on his thinking and things like that, and he knew what was going on. And Semiase, um, at some point, my brother was one. He wanted to talk openly about, his past life at some point, and she didn't like that, so he got attacked by her, and she's like, "You gotta go." That what he told me, that she says, "You gotta go, you gotta go," and but it was so because he went back to the Pleiades and he got his own body, the body that he had, in storage, just like that. The government here, that they have clones hanging, in tubes and water, whatever. And, so he had his body back there, and he came and told me that. So, yeah.
I do want to mention to the audience members, Semiyase is the hermaphrodite father of Jesus, and she's was a high level within the numbers group and within the 12D Pleiadians. She's also there are a lot of people out there channeling these 12D Pleiadians, and I've actually mentioned about this in other interviews. I guess I don't know if I should name names. I already did and Barbara Marciniak. I had some problems with, and I did confront her about Semia. She went, yeah. She got extremely negative about it. So it also appears that Semiyase has murdered Peter, the insider's wife, and she also allowed her son Jesus to get crucified because she likes violence. And I feel sorry for Jesus that he had a father like that. I think he might be a little bit embarrassed about the whole situation. But the problem is that Semiyase seems to be immune to the laws of karma, and that's why she's able to get away with this. At least that's what Peter has relayed.
And you know what? But that's not for a long time, because she had done a lot of damage to humanity, and excuse me, and she was pretending to be a good person, and she's not. She's an evil person, and because she supports the queen of Orion, that evil queen in Orion, that she the woman who trying to control and be in charge of our galaxy. She is helping her out, and in all the Dracos, the queen of the bad queen of the Pleiadians, I mean Orion and Semiase, they are all in a team. They're trying to control and they're trying to take over our planet for thousands of years. And that's the reality. That's the reality. I don't, but I can tell you that I won't be surprised if she's part of the vouch, because, like I said, she's part of the team of the Queen of Orion, which she's like imperialist. She wants to control the entire solar system, our galaxy, and everything. And she's part of that team.
Okay, so and you've also had experiences with some other Pleiadians from Dakota. Is that like the name of a planet?
Hmm. Yeah, because
Are they? Are they? Well, okay, go ahead.
the people from Dakota, and I mean from the Pleiades, they are basically they are the Indians, American Indians. Originally they came from the Pleiades. All the American Indians, they have a lot of history. They have a lot of information about where they came from, and 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 they know that um, you know the Semiase, she forced them to leave the Pleiadian uh, world to come down here, like a refugee, or like you know what I mean, refugees.
I don't quite get you. What was she exiled them? Was she didn't like the
Yeah, yeah,
sort of like how like these sects came out of England and settled here in the colonies to
exactly,
escape religious persecution?
exactly. That's what Semiase did that to them, and that's why they ended up here. You know, thousands of years, and those are the Indians who habited U.S., Australia, and Mexico, and are all around the world.
Well, I mean, probably not the Aboriginals of like Australia and Black Africa. Those probably different race. Maybe perhaps Procyon. Do you have any information about that? I've heard some of the natives came from Procyon.
Yeah, the Aborigines from Australia, they came from Taygeta and the Pleiades. They ended up in Australia. And the American Indians, they came from Terra, which is one planet, and in uh, the Pleiades, you know.
Do you have any information on what beings inhabited Atlantis? Where
Oh,
they
yeah, of course. Yeah, all the beings that came to Atlantis were from originally from Andromeda galaxy. They came here to to heal our planet, to heal the humanity at that point, at that time, and that's where you and I came from. We came from Andromeda. We came from Andromeda.
what do you recall specifically from that era of Atlantis?
Oh my God! Let me tell you, I you were a priest. You were like a teacher. Um, you were teaching meditation, and there was a temple that a light temple that it has like a crystal quartz on top of the ceiling, and that will like energize and transmute all energies, and it will be for healing for people. And you were doing that. You were in charge of that. And I was one of your disciples. and at some point in one of those events, and then um, things went bad because um, the 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 Dracos and the Greys, the alien Greys, they came from the future down to um, to Atlantis, and they're trying to control society and everything went to chaos because the Dracos and the Greys, they start fighting each other for control of Atlantis.
Oh, so initially they were unified, say, oh, we're going to just go down there. We got this grand experiment. And then once they got there, they all broke off into factions.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what happened.
So the intention probably was never for Atlantis to fall into the sea, even by the Draco and the Greys. They just wanted to control everything.
Exactly.
Instead of they burned the whole stadium down.
Right. That is the truth of what happened. And unfortunately, they destroyed the whole island and everything because they wanted to control, they wanted to be in power and things like that. The Dracos, were fighting. They have technology to fight the Greys and everything, and they created a nuclear, holocaust, and they destroyed the whole thing.
You said you also recall experience with Perseus.
Mm-hmm. I do.
What can you tell the audience members about that?
Well, the people in that system were very nice, very, very humble people. But the moment that the Dracos were invading every single solar system, and they think that they own the galaxy. They think that they can just take over and humiliate people and do whatever they want, and that was the problem. They tried to do that, and they did, and they destroyed that system too. The Dracos are James. The Dracos are nothing but a pain in the ass from many thousand years. But you know what? Now here on our planet, they that's not going to be possible anymore because we are facing this event, which is a burst of gamma rays, and that will destroy them. It's going to really make them feel pain versus us because we will feel, soothing. We will feel comfort. We will feel, embrace with warm love and energy. And these people, and whoever resides in the negative, vibration, they are going, their negative vibration are going to multiply, and they're going to feel it 3 times, 4 times, 7 times harder, and they don't like it. They know it. And at some point, when this event happens, these people are going to disappear. They're not going to be allowed any longer to be in our reality. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, the elite people in Lucifer, this thing, they, trying to give us a hard time right now because they know that we are fighting against them.
All right. Well, going back to Perseus, you said that you met him, and apparently that was me. Do you remember saying that? Past life. Yeah. So they were the beings in Atlantis were what, 12 feet tall?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And do you recall what the specific battle or the whole fight? I guess it was with the Draco, or do you know anything about Medusa?
It was with the Draco. It's always been with the Draco. Um, you know, um,
Was Medusa Draco?
yeah, yeah. They try to be, in control. Back then, they wanted to, you know, um, humiliate humanity and be, the directors and owners of the land. They created a lot of slavery and things like that. And I was killed by one of the Dracos in Atlantis. One of the Dracos uh, approached me when I was watching, a ceremony, like light ceremony that people normally will get together and connect their energy with this, situation, with this event. And I was there. And one of the directors killed me. And that was my last life in Atlantis.
Sorry to hear that.
And you know what? I met the killer in this time, and that he was the guy who is like 14 feet tall with wing and white pelt, and he was the leader of the directors. And he wanted to get rid of me. And and let me tell you something. He wanted to get rid of me because I was supporting you and in that particular time. And he wanted to kill you. And I went across and I said, "You're not gonna kill him." And he ended up killing me.
Killing you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you saved my life?
in a way, I did because he was after you. He wanted to destroy you.
Well, how did I get away ultimately, or did I get away?
Well, you went well because he didn't kill you, so you uh, transport yourself into the future in a time machine that at the time it was created in in that city, which is the island that we were living. You escaped. You
Hmm.
escaped.
Do you know what year I went to?
Okay. That happened in 70,000 years ago when we were there, and you escaped to the year 2000 when Jesus was around, and you became Jesus' father.
Okay. I don't recall any of this,
Of course,
but this.
you can. You became Jesus' father because Saint Germain the spirit of Saint Germain is in you, and Saint Germain became Jesus' father. Have you read that? Are you aware of that information?
Yeah. So, I mean, people have said they see the violet flame around me. A lot of people thank me for the changes on the Horizon video where shared about the life story of Saint Germain. And I mean, I think maybe my soul group is connected with Saint Germain.
Of course. But you know what? When you escape Atlantis, when I was killed because I was protecting you, you know, at that point I knew who you were and everything, and I was killed. But one, this white 14 feet tall Draco that he wanted to be the leader, the queen, the king of planet Earth, and he wanted to be the owner of planet Earth, and and he wasn't successful by killing you, and you took off. It was a time machine that you helped to build back then, and you end up living, moving, arriving, and you know Jerusalem, and that's when Jesus was about to be born. You became his father, and that's Saint Joseph.
Well, I've also had visions where I see Jesus on the cross and so on. That was when I went through my Christian indoctrination.
Mm.
Like, I mean, actual visitation of angels and so on. Of course, I don't know if my religious um, training overlaid into my subconscious mind, but certainly that maybe that's the case. I guess I'm gonna have to take your word for it because I don't remember that. But
And you don't have to remember anything because that is the whole thing, And I there's some things I don't remember because I don't supposed to remember, but these things that I'm telling you is things that I remember, like I'm watching a movie.
where do you want to take this? I thought perhaps maybe you could explain a little bit more about Saint Germain, unless since you wanted to finish up your comment.
Oh, I can talk a little bit about something. I was telling you that you know when you left Atlantis, you came to Jerusalem and became Jesus' father, which is Saint Joseph, which is Saint Germain.
Yeah, that according to legend, yeah, apparently.
Right. So you are a key point in history, and you know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you don't get, you know, you know, how you call it, you know, how you say, um, you know, you don't get ego.
Egotistical.
It's a ego.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of people out there that claim they're Saint Germain or Mary Cleopatra or whatever, Julius Caesar.
But I'm telling you the truth because I've been there and I saw you saw and you and I've been together for a long time, and nobody is going to come and say I'm lying because I'm not a liar.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about you? What lives did you live? Do you were you around back then too?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
The time of Jesus?
Yeah, when you were the father of Jesus, Saint Joseph, I was one of his best friends of Jesus. I was one of his how do you call it? I was when he went to preach. He would tell me, "Can you take care of my goats? My my how you call it? You know the
I heard.
yeah yeah he was yeah the chick. He was like, "Can you take care of my chick?" When because I have a meeting by the lake. I have a meeting by the mountain. Can you take care of my chick? Because he really loved animals, you know. And so I was his shipper. I mean, ship. You take care, you know. And I was there, and I met you there a couple of times, and he was my I was his best friend back then,
Hmm.
and you were his father, and you were so lovely to him. You know, I mean, people who listen to this conversation might think, "Oh, this guy is not doesn't know what he's talking about." But you know what? I have full memory of what happened.
Okay, so what color eyes did Jesus have?
Uh, like honey, like light brown.
Okay.
He didn't have no blue eyes. He had
Blonde hair and blue eyes. Nothing like that.
yeah, he had like his hair was kind of like light light dark brown, his hair, his beard, all that, and his eyes were light brown, not blue at all. And he has his nose were kind of like a little, he had a little thing in the middle, kind of like a parrot, you know.
What kind of clothes did Jesus typically wear?
He wore very heavy, outfit, like a blanket, like something like that, and he would just put it around his weight and tied it up with a rope with something that he used to make because he used to be very creative. He made a bell, but it wasn't bell. It was just like made out of material, that he made a rope. I mean, like a bell, and he used that and tied his blanket he put on him,
Hmm.
and he would have flip flops, made out of skin animals and things like that. And,
Hmm.
sometimes he will walk barefoot.
Okay. And what kind of powers? Oh, go ahead.
No, he was very tall. I mean, he was like 6'4",
Hmm.
high. He was very tall, and you were by his shoulder. You were a little shorter than him.
Hmm.
And what kind of magical abilities or powers did Jesus? Well, of course, Christians don't believe in magical abilities, but what kind of powers do you recall him doing?
Well, the moment he will approach a person that had any sort of illness or anything, he will just like put his hand like that and project his energy, and they will be healed. He didn't have to touch them. He just did this right in front of their foreheads, and they will be healed.
Did he say praise the Lord or did he say praise God? And then the Holy Ghost is over and they fall back. And is it like that? Like a lot of some of the Christian healers claim they do.
No, actually, all they did was crying of the emotion of seeing the changes that Jesus, did it without even touching them. So they will be just crying of gratitude, and thank you. And I don't know how you did this. I don't know how, but thank you so much. We love you, and please don't leave us alone. Don't go away. This and that.
Was he ever worried about the ego going to his head
Oh no.
of all these people flocking towards him?
Oh no, not at all. He was so humble person. He was not even thinking about what people will think about him or anything like that. Even he felt that you know everything he did for these people, whether it was healing or anything, he was kind of like very happy, and he would cry by seeing the changes of these people. He would cry. He was very humble man.
All right. And was Jesus aware of the Draco and extraterrestrial presence and what happened to Atlantis?
Of course he was. Of course.
And what about like the average folk of that era? Were they also aware that there was an Atlantis at one point and there was a great so all that was pretty much suppressed?
No, it was very suppressed, and the people didn't have no knowledge of it.
Well, what about like the religious class? What did they have?
Oh no, they not
They didn't
even
even know either.
not even there. No. They want to control the system. They wanted to control the population, and that's why Jesus was very upset about it, because these people were so selfish, and they wanted just to make money and chemicalize people and get away and make money. And Jesus was very upset about it. He was very upset, just like we are right now. It's like we see all these religions that don't make no sense. Right? Like Catholic, like whatever.
Right.
So, but you were always next to Jesus. You were there all the time. Like like a good father. You were like protecting him and helping him. I remember those memories.
Wow. Okay. Well, anything else you wanted to share about Jesus or this era? He feels relevant.
Well, one of the things that he told me back then was that he says that he knew what was coming up in the near future. He said to me, and he said, "Be diligent and aware, fully aware of what's happening, because you will find more truth of reality of what is life all about." And he's like, "I'm very proud of you because you know what you're doing, and you know where you're going, and at some point in your life, you will realize and you will understand that whatever we experience together and whatever you're doing in the future is going to be for the better of humanity. That's what he told me. And you know what? I'm so proud of it, James, because I feel like that. He really trusted me, and and then I ran into you, 2010. I remember.
Did Jesus ever teach about reincarnation?
Of course, of
Did,
course.
what about in the Bible talks about how we need to have the blood of Jesus to be saved? What would Jesus say about that?
The Bible is a book of lies. Okay.
Do you think Jesus would say that too? He
Oh
would.
yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Of course. He they distort every single word that he wanted to convey to humanity. Because the people at that point who were in charge of the churches and things like that, they were the elite. They were the grandson of the Illuminati,
The Sanhedrin, the Pharisees.
mhm, exactly. So he never agreed on that, and in I have a book that he's part of it, and I can share with you where he says everybody in my time distort all the information, all the information, everything that I wanted to convey to humanity, they twisted all around for their own benefits, for the greed of making money, for the greed of controlling, humanity, and that comes basically from the Draco, because the Dracos are the ones that they think that they own this planet.
And well, let's go back to like the Pauline doctrines. And it was actually the Apostle Paul who promoted the belief that we need the blood of Jesus. And if you recall in the story of the Bible, where when Paul was traveling about to another city, Jesus appeared to him and blinded him for a couple of days. I believe it was maybe 3 days. I'm not quite sure. I go back to the scriptures, I can find out. But essentially, so do you think? Do you think this belief system about when needing blood sacrifices, because that seems to be highly associated with Draco belief systems? Do you think that Draco were influencing Paul?
That is exactly what it is. It is related to the Draco philosophy. The Dracos brought that philosophy into the humanity because they are blood eaters, blood drinkers, and they eat human blood, human flesh.
And children.
It's exactly. So that is a doctrine that the Dracos imposed thousands of years ago to humanity. They make the Mayans to do sacrifices, for their own.
Quetzalcoatl.
Exactly.
What do you think? Quetzalcoatl was what's a winged serpent? Is that what that translates to? Was a Draco shapeshifter or reptilian?
Was it? He was from no, he wasn't a Draco, but the Draco uh, to him is a god, that they didn't need to sacrifice and do that was like an excuse to make humanity, the people, the Indians, the indigenous, to make sacrifices for the Draco, not for Quetzalcoatl, what, how you call it? Guanajuato?
What, Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah. No, no, he was an excuse that the direct was used to make the Mayans and everybody to make sacrifices for their own benefits.
Well, what about like in the Bible? It mentions Jehovah required some people to actually make a blood sacrifice on an altar, and some of the actual original translations, going back, if you were did do the historic look at the original translations, you would find that it's almost as if God or Jehovah was becoming almost as if he was becoming sexually aroused by this blood sacrifice, this scent. The scent of the burning flesh was extremely pleasing to God. So that doesn't even seem like something that benevolent creator, but a lot of Christians don't really discuss that.
They don't get it. They don't get it. They got fooled about the Draco. That is a philosophy that the Dracos created. That was their own doing. They because they are such how you call it, fanatic. I mean, they love blood. They love eat human flesh because they think that we are cattle to them, and they love eat babies. Like young babies, and they love blood, and so they created that doctrine to deceive and fool, the indigenous people back in those days, and these people were doing the sacrifices for them.
And
They will kill.
they would kill. Oh yeah. Would you think Jesus was aware about the blood sacrificing, and that it was actually a Draco philosophy?
Of course, he was aware. He was aware of everything that was going on. That's why, he came to um, teach, to wake up people out of these stupid mentalities that they were buying by the Dracos. He knew all that.
Well, what about Paul? Do you think he was a Draco shapeshifter, or maybe he was taken into an underground base and planted to be this infiltrator?
It's more likely that what that happened. It's more likely.
Which what that he was implanted?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've heard that the Muhammad was also implanted. They took him aboard a spaceship. That's when he started promoting this cuckoo religion. Now I'm gonna have a bunch of haters now. No offense to people from that part of the world. I'm just saying that these religions are based on
Right. And that's
extraterrestrial beliefs.
that's actually what happened. Jesus was fully aware of what was going on, and but he wanted to be gentle to teach people, to get out of that, you know, um, you know, um, controlling frame of mind that the Dracos were doing back then, 2,000 years ago, but people didn't listen. People thought that he was crazy, you know, and that is the sad part, that Jesus ended up being crucified and killed and everything by the same people that he loved so much.
So let's say if Jesus was to come back today and say walk into the Vatican, maybe just go into St. Peter's Square and start preaching, do you think the clergy or the religious priest would embrace him, or you think they would probably try to find another crucifix? What do you think?
Well, to be honest with you, I think that these people, because are so greedy. The church, especially the Vatican, so greedy. They own Walmart, they own Home Depot, they own a lot of banks all around the world.
They own trillions of dollars in certain types of futures
Exactly.
that trade
You think
natural resources.
to like they're not going to give up the power. If Jesus appears, they will feel threatened, and they will fight back to Jesus and try to eliminate him because he will be against their uh, money. The thing that they're being in control for so many years.
All right. Well, let's move on here. I mean, this is fascinating, but I'm sure there's a lot more to content. Was there anything else about Saint Germain you wanted to share? You said he had a message. Perhaps.
Yeah, he wanted to convey to you that you have to get believe it or not, this morning, I was meditating, and he said that because I'm in contact with you, he's like, I don't like the communication that Jane has with David Asset, Aces, or Adrian. He doesn't approve that communication. He thinks that they are trying to steal information from you and put it against you. As some they are going to do that. He doesn't feel that is a safe communication, and it's not something that you you deserve to go through, because they are in a moment in time, Adrian and David Essex, they are going to use all the information against you, and they can hurt you.
What? Adrian Espinoza?
Yeah.
Who is the other person?
David X Arthur. That.
You mean Jay Essex?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, likewise, most of the guests on my show share their information, and it's kind of important to separate your feelings and from the information shared. But I do get what you say.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
That was something that I got this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was asking for advice, and I said, I wanted to talk to the higher self of James Rink, and Saint Germain appeared to me this morning, and he said, I know what you want me to tell you. And I said, well, I just wonder, if James is doing the right thing in interviewing people, the good people, and things like that. And he's like, all I want to say is that he needs to be precautious and not so open to Adrian and David. What is the guy?
Jay Essex.
Yeah. Because he says that they are going to betray you, and they will try to use all the information against you. And they just like they kind of like sucking your information for their own benefit, and then they will turn around and betray you. That was the message that I got this morning.
All right, and perhaps we should talk a little bit off camera. It's
Okay.
about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But okay, is there any other messages from Saint Germain?
Not at this point. Not at this point.
All right. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you also had an experience with. You said you saw me at Montauk. What were you doing at Montauk, and can you explain a little bit more about this experience?
I was I was taken to Montauk in my astral body. They wanted to implant myself, my soul, into a body that was laying in Montauk. One of the older guys that they wanted to do some experiments, and somehow they came to my house and got my astral body, suck it out because they had the technology to do that, and they brought me to Montauk. And when I was in Montauk, I saw you there, and I wasn't happy what they were doing to you. The people.
And again, there were a lot of Draco at Montauk. They would
Mhm.
to do sexual rituals
Oh yeah,
and blood sacrifice, black mass.
I saw 3 Dracos around your body, and you were like you could not even move, and the Dracos were around you, and they were debating what to do with your body, and you don't have no clothes on. You were kind of like exposed and everything, and I was floating in my astral body, and I saw you, and I didn't like that, and I was complaining, and I said, I mean, yeah, that was my experience. Yeah,
Oh,
they were trying to do, to do a high in a sexual, you know,
orgy kind of thing.
yeah, right, yeah, the three records, direct.
Because what these Dracos would actually do is they would shapeshift into a child, and then they would engage the children at Montauk, and I'm assuming some of the children probably didn't know that these were Draco that they were engaging.
Right. And I saw that, and that bothered me very much when
What
I saw this. They were like 12 feet tall, Draco, around you, and you're so tiny. I mean, exposed in a table, and you were, like no clothes, anything, and they were like trying to either, do sexual things or eat you or whatever. They were fighting each other because one wanted to eat you, the other one wanted to have sex, the other one wanted to to just I don't know, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and I was like floating in the air, in my bubble of my soul, is golden. Our soul is golden, and I wasn't in a bubble, and I was looking down, and as I was watching you and watching all these records there, and I was so mad because I thought that was very invading and very respectful, and I mean I'm respectful, and you didn't deserve that to be there.
do you recall the color of the light in the room?
Yeah, actually I do. It was kind of like orange color. it was kind of like not bright, not white, but it was orange, kind of a mist of orange and I mean, it's just like when you go to a bar and you see this
Metal halide light.
dim lights,
Okay.
and you can barely see the person, things like that. That's how it was. Because
Was I? Go ahead.
no, because the Draco, they don't like bright lights.
Hmm.
They don't like bright lights.
Okay. And what other experiences did you recall from this trip to Montauk? You said you saw me in a cage. You want to explain about that?
Yeah, actually, I remember I was walking around. Um, I mean, in an astral body because I wasn't physically there, but I was in an astral body because they wanted to trap me and to put me into an older man, body. And so I was just like floating around and looking, and I saw you in the cave, and you were like maybe 7 years old. You were like a baby there, and you were like freak out, crying, and everything. And I saw you, and I recognized you, and I said, "Wow, you know, this is somebody that I need to help." But I couldn't do anything because I was in an astral body, and I was just floating around and looking at you, and these people, um, they just didn't care, that you were so afraid and everything, and you were so tiny, you know, and then I tried to connect with one of the security guards that were there, and obviously they listened to me because I was the master of body, and so and then next time I saw you, you were out of the cage. You were in Mars, and that's it's like how he ended up in Mars. You were in Mars, but you were just like an adult. It's an adult.
Do you think these Montauk experiments were actually taking place on Mars, even though it's supposed to be Montauk under Montauk Point?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you also mentioned you saw someone else in a cage next to me. Did you? Can you recall how many other children were in this facility?
I remember Mars Pierce. He was there.
Who?
Mark Spears.
Oh, you mean Max Spears?
Yeah, him. Yeah, he was there next to you.
Uh-huh. And you mentioned Nathan.
Nathan was next to Max Pierce.
Max Spears. And what about James Casbolt?
He was he was he wasn't in a cage. He was helping these people uh, to go to the cage. He will go with these people to the cages, and he will help them, or these people will make Michael to, like get you out, put you in, and he was a little older, and he was kind of like like their helper, controlled by them.
Okay, well that's a little disturbing. Hopefully that was just a clone of him, not the original. Um, but okay. Anything else you want to share about what you recall at Montauk? Any other kind of torture? Or...
I recall to see Preston Nicole that he was and Duncan. They were there to. They were doing experiments with all the boys, and Preston Nicole. He was definitely working on you. He was kind of like you know put you in trance, and he will you know take advantage of you being so young, and he was receiving orders from the people that control Montauk, and he wanted, like, he was, like, just follow orders, and he was not so nice to you. He kind of like um, enjoy, to be around you, and to abuse you in some way.
Well, why didn't he say? Oh, I guess he why he wouldn't say, because when I met Preston, he didn't mention anything that he actually. I mean, he said that he scanned my energy, said I was at Montauk, but he didn't say, "Oh, I remember you, James. This took place and that took place." And he didn't apologize for anything. Do you think he even remembers what happened? The guy that's
No, he of course he remembers.
so he probably didn't want to tell me because he did a lot of bad things
Exactly.
without getting graphic to the audience members.
Exactly. Yeah. He remembers everything. He remembers everything. He's a very smart guy. And he knows what he did. And but like again, he was following orders from the high ups people in Montauk, and he allowed himself to be part of it. You know, he could have said no. I don't want to do this or that, but because he was an employee, right? He was working for the government, so he had to follow orders. So that's why he did it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he got involved with you many times.
Well, in Montauk, they referred to me as Alien Boy because I would channel the Andromedans, or not. I don't want to say channel. It's more like I was speaking Andromedan, and they were trying to figure out who I was talking to. I guess I was communicating with them, and I don't know where they would have been. And so the Draco, because they had a lot of plans for us kids in that facility. And then what happens when I was calling on these Andromedans, it was really scaring them because um, ultimately what happened is they sent a team in, an NSA team in there to clear out the facility, but the Andromedans were behind that. Even though Andromedans themselves are pacifists, they do not have any super soldiers to go in there. They would work with some teams, maybe some teams from the future went back in time. Maybe, who knows, maybe we did. But I'm not, no, I dig
Right.
regression.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That exactly what happened. And how old are you? 45? 35?
Well, I'm 38. But my birth certificate is blacked out. Once you start looking at some of these files and projects, and apparently the ACO records don't even know how old I am because they keep re-aging me and sending me back in time, this and that. But the records only go back 40,000 years, so they really don't even know.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, this is what happened to me, and a month ago. And I didn't like, what I saw there. I didn't agree with, what they were doing. Not to you, but to everybody that were there, And that's why, the directors, because they are in charge of these programs, literally, the Dracos are in charge of this program, you know? And they know, they track me and they know who I am and they want to destroy me. But fortunately, they cannot do anything against me because I have the support and the help of very powerful light beings, and I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. And that's why I'm talking to you, very openly because that is not going to happen. I'm not afraid. And they cannot come and touch me. And they cannot do that to you either.
All right. Do you have anything else to share about your experiences at or not? I was gonna say experiences at Montauk, or what you saw at being experienced at Montauk.
I think so far, I think I have over most of it.
Well, how about we go into Mars? You saw something going on there.
Yeah, Mars. We ended up in Mars, and you were part of. They brought you there for, to be like soldier to keep in control of the colony that is in Mars, and and you didn't like it. You didn't want to be controlling the people there, but you did it because you were forced to. And I was there because I was part of the team of being a slave. I was part of slavery in Mars myself. And but when I realized who I was, I refused to be a slave and everything, and I got killed in Mars. And then you you rebel too, and they killed you in Mars. They got rid of you, they killed you, and we ended up back into Earth to reincarnation, and and that's what happened when uh, like this time, lifetime. That's that this is after we left Mars, after they killed us, and that's when I found you in 2010, and I immediately recognized you, and I said, "Oh, I've been with James in Mars. I've been with James in Atlantis. I've been, and so all my memories start coming up, and I remember everything, like a movie, like a movie, you know. So this is our final destination right now, and good things are going to happen. That's for sure, and obviously we left Mars because we our mission is to be here when this event is going to happen in 2.5 years, maybe 3 years.
Do you recall what Mars was like in its last golden age? Do you have memories of that?
Mars was beautiful. Marvel, it was more beautiful than Earth. It was, I mean, it has beautiful oceans, lakes, rivers, and it had the housing was very like country, not like here. It was more like living in the cliffs. Remember the movie, the Time Machine?
No, not particularly. Can you explain? There, I mean, there's a few of them out there.
There's one that people live in cliffs, in like some kind of like caverns, cages along the mountains.
I think there's been some Star Wars movies depicting scenes like that.
No, this is
Not like that.
no, this is the Time Machine, a movie that came out a while ago, and I will send you some pictures if I found it.
Well,
But
no, there was a movie about Mars recently, like a couple years ago.
oh yeah, that's
But that's probably not what you're. John of Mars, is that it? John of Mars. I could.
no, yeah, I saw the movie, and also that's very similar, but it's uh, what is his name? What is his name? Uh, John John Carter. John Carter. Have you seen that? John Carter? Okay. That's pretty much similar to.
Is that what you're referring to? That movie? I mean, that's not a time machine because I know you mentioned time machine.
No, Time Machine is a totally different movie, and that's how Mars was back then. It's Time Machine, and the actor is a guy something.
But I mean, so is that like based on H.G. Wells' story? Oh, okay, okay. So that film came out in 2002, The Time Machine.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's not exactly very recent, but okay. Well, I guess audience members are going to need to watch that one. And of course, there's another, The Time Machine from 1960. So there's another one back then too. But okay, all right. Now we're jumping around here. So, oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, the, uh, the way Mars used to look like, it's just like the movie of Tamachi, the one that came in 2002. And it was beautiful. I mean, it's like beautiful mountain and rivers, lakes, and everything. And yeah, and then the Dracos, came and invaded Mars, and they destroyed Mars. Between the uh, gray aliens, the Dracos, and the you know uh, insect beings, which is kind of like you know grasshoppers.
The Praying Mantis.
Yeah, exactly. So they all got into a fight and they destroyed Mars, and also the people who came from Maldek, the rebels. They came from Maldek to Mars. They caused a lot of problems, and you know, everybody got into a fight because they wanted to control Mars, and they destroyed it. They destroyed it completely.
That's too bad. All right. Well, and you also said that you met somebody recently who says she was on Mars. Do you have any information to share about that? Your neighbor?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah, she lives next door here. And yeah, she was a slave, sex slave in Mars. And her, yeah, I've been talking to her, and she's been in a recovery because for all her trauma, you know, trauma, emotionally, mentally, and physically, she is she's gone to a therapist, and we connect the other day, and she says, I know you. I don't remember where I met you, but I know you from before. And then I start myself, you know, meditating and concentrating right in front of her, and then I remember her. She was I actually I rescued her from Mars. It's because she was part of slave, sex slave for the secret government, secret whatever, and and I and I remember, and I said, yeah, I know who you are, and she said, I know you. You helped me so many times in Mars, and I said, yeah, I did because I didn't like, what you were going through. Because, these people were using her as sex slave, and she's so fragile, so pretty, so beautiful. And, it's like, I, I didn't, I didn't want her to go through that. So, I got in trouble by rescuing her. I rescued her. And, but that was, like maybe 50 years ago, 50 or 60, you know, and
Were you a super soldier?
no, I was I was like I've always been, you know. I haven't been engaged, I haven't never been, controlled by, the dark forces. I mean, that I can remember, but I was there in a mission for something that I don't remember, and and I, and I didn't like how these people were treated to be slaves and slave workers and sex work slaves. So I did something for her, and I rescued her, and somehow we ended up here on Earth, with her, and then something happened that the Dark Fleet found me, and they got rid of me. They killed me, just like they want to kill me now, you know. But she's safe here, she's living here, and but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Absolutely, I'm not afraid because you know when we are full of light, nothing is going to get you. Never ever.
Well, did this lady mention anything else
She
you would like to share?
No, she remembers that she was sex slave, and she remembers meeting me, and she remembers that I brought her here.
Hmm.
I brought her here, and so she's waking up and she's like, "Wow," you know.
Have you showed her Super Soldier Talk videos?
Not yet,
Sure.
not yet,
Okay.
because I just run into her already like a month ago, and we connect, and she told me, "I remember you. I remember you when you were like looking after me, trying to help me." And I said, "Yes, I did." And yeah, she's here, and she's had a lot of you know um, emotional issues. She's going to therapies. She's taking some medication because she really got fucked up by the system in Mars, you know. And she's so pretty. I mean, she's like young girl, and and every time I come out, she come and say, "I love you." She yell at me because she lives across from me. She's like, "I love you." You know. So it's yeah, it's confirmation that she remembers.
All
And
right.
yeah,
Well, why don't we move on here because we need to wrap this up pretty soon. You said you also had an experience with Lucifer. You want to share about that?
yeah, of course. Yeah, one night I was sleeping, and uh, Lucifer appeared to me. Well, actually, it was like a vivid dream, but it was very vivid, real dream. He appeared. I was next to a river, and with some friends, and he appeared and say, um, "If you guys don't reunize your creator, I will kill all of you," he said. So and I approached him and I said, "What do you mean? How you will kill us?" And he's like, "I have the power that the man that you believe in, your God, doesn't have. I have more power than him," he said. And I said, and I said to him, "Show me your power." And then he started like facing the sky and starts, like screaming, like, for power. And then all of a sudden, all the sky start turning into like dark clouds, and then like acid rain start dropping down acid, but it was fluorescent. It was kind of like a silvery fluorescent, the drops, and everybody we got under these drops, and we start having blisters in our skin, and he's like, "You guys, if you want to be safe, you have to ask me to help you and reunites, uh, deny you creator." And so I came, after everybody started getting blisters, he appeared again and said, "So you have to say it aloud. I renounce, my support, my love, my trust on my God." And and I tried to say, okay, I will do that, but I couldn't say anything. I couldn't speak because I'm from the lights, and I'm not going to support Lucifer ever. So he's like, repeat after me. I don't want you in my life. You creator, false creator, things like that. He was telling me. And I said, I cannot repeat that because you know, I'm part of him. So anyway, he was like begging me. He put his face close to me, and he looked awful. He looked like uh, a draconian face with some hair in his face, hair in his chest, and he was awful looking. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And he's like, well, you're gonna die, and you're gonna die with your God, he said, because I'm more powerful than him. And so I said, that's not gonna happen because, you are a rebel from your own father, and you will get punished sooner or later. And we are on your father's side, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then he like whoop, disappeared because I mentioned, I said, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you to live this reality. And as soon as I say that, he popped out. He disappeared. That was my experience.
All right. And you said he visited you again?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And
So he changed his strategy.
right, right, and I it was very he made me sick. I started feeling like nauseous. I wanted to throw up and things like that. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, I want you to rescue from your stupid, thinking of, supporting, that man that doesn't have no power." And I said, you know what? He's the man who created the universe. He created you, he created me, and I'm going to bow down to him. I will always honor him, not you. And then like, and then he asked me, who is the name of that man, if you know? And I said, the great I am, the creator of everything, the great central sun, the most radiant one. And boom, he disappeared. Because he heard that I was telling him the truth. And he disappeared. And he hasn't bothered me anymore since then.
Hmm. Yeah, and I also had a dream where I met Lucifer right after that. And in that one, it appears I was taken to a base on Mars, and it looked like they were trying to indoctrinate me to join this facility. Where people are mostly mind controlled. They did look human, but almost like a kind of like a dark fleet kind of Nazi SS kind of look. And so when Lucifer appeared to me and he started the threats, says you're going to join, and and I just said no, I'm not interested. And immediately I got the impression that you're not really allowed to have a choice here. You're forced to it. And I asked him, why did you even offer me a choice? And right then I got this impression. I saw Lucifer as who he used to be before he went cuckoo, and I saw that we were actually good, close friends. And that's before he was still a good person. I saw him in my mind as a good person. I immediately he looked to me like he was like an insectoid kind of Draco kind of creature. And so I just immediately just ran right up to him and gave him the biggest hug I could possibly give the guy. And then he turned into a human, and then he started, I don't know, maybe he started shaking, or he like got really scared. And like his henchmen were like really, they started freaking out because that's never happened before. Usually people are supposed to get scared and then everybody skedaddles. And then that's when I woke up. So I think might have done something that might have embarrassed him, because there's still light in him, even though I know he calls himself the light bearer. But I mean, the positivity, he tries to suppress it with this mask, himself sound evil, because that's what he's good at. You okay?
Yeah, but what happened, bottom line about him is that he was infested by AI technology, and that is the reason why he changed his um, his nature, and it was transformed into manipulated technology, AI technology, and in some ways he doesn't really uh, relate. He doesn't really feel our emotions anymore because he's been infiltrated by this AI technology, and that's what happened to him. But deep inside of his soul, he's a live being. He's a live being, just like us. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the free will like we do have, because this AI technology is controlling him. And we're supposed to, we have to understand that. If we know, we are aware of that, we have to understand and not judge him, and just be compassionate, because he's a victim of the AI technology. you know that is my point of view.
Okay, thank you, Enrique. So I think this might be a good point to conclude, unless there's something else you wanted to, a quick final comment.
No, I think
Anything
that
else?
we cover everything.
All right, good. All right, so audience members, thank you for joining us. And again, please visit supersoldiertalk.com to learn more about not only this video, and some of the other interviews I've done. And so there's a lot of other content on there. And also be sure to subscribe to this channel so you get the quickest, fastest updates when these new videos come out. And also be sure to visit our sponsor, Neological Tech. Right now, everything is sold out, so I'm trying my best to get more inventory. It's kind of hard. It's like, but I'm going to get that situation taken care of over the next couple weeks. But in the meantime, thanks for listening in. And until next time, bye-bye. Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.